All right, so going into the true crime drama here. So obviously, you know who Annie Elise is. Do you know who ZAV Girl is?
I don't know who ZAV Girl is.
Okay, well, you guys will see a picture here. Now, what the drama is right now is these two content creators, both of them focus solely on true crime or culture, basically similar things that we're talking about here, okay? Well, on two different occasions, they are taking flack right now because they decided to post child pictures of autopsy and or bruising from being abused behind a paywall. And people are up in arms about this, making a huge deal about it, that how could you do this? And I just don't know how I feel about it. I wanted to bring it up because I don't know how I feel about it. When I heard the drama with ZAV Girl and that came out first, it was Gannon Staunch. Am I saying that right?
Stock.
Gannon Stock. And she got video footage of his autopsy, and obviously he's a child. He's under 18. You can't put that on YouTube. So what she ended up doing is putting it on Patreon behind a paywall for $3 to be able to view it. And she took major heat from that, okay? And then Annie Elise also had photographs of the abuse and things like that didn't allow for those pictures to let her video be monetized.
Of Gannon too?
Yes, and she couldn't be monetized, so what she did is she cut out all the pictures that were in question, reposted it on YouTube, and then posted the original video on Patreon behind a paywall. And
okay, I don't see anything wrong with what Annie did.
I feel exactly the same. But so many content creators out there right now are trying to draw relation to both of these. Like, they're oversimplifying this situation and saying they're both women content creators. They both posted explicit pictures or videos or whatever of kids who have been abused or whatever like that, and they both put it behind a paywall. I think it is very, very, very different putting an autopsy of an underage child behind a paywall, like the full autopsy video, versus Annie, who was telling a story, and she's usually pretty good about putting focus on the areas that society can improve, a person can improve. She usually highlights the victims pretty good, and she usually highlights the areas where there are mistakes.
She does a good job of that, yeah.
Like, to me, intent matters in this situation.
I agree.
Annie's a mother.
She is.
And she goes out of her way to make sure she doesn't just hyper-focus on the criminal and ignore the victims. I just think that I don't see bad intent there coming from her.
So I agree. I don't see anything wrong with what Annie
did. Foul play.
I feel like it's okay for people to, like, sometimes the images make more of an impact for you and help you understand what actually happened to this person.
Absolutely.
And I think there's a fine line between telling a story, showing what happened to this person and why they deserve justice, and exploiting them for monetary gain. We have to be careful as creators not to exploit victims of crime for our own benefit. To where you're literally posting an autopsy of a small child behind a paywall to get money.
Yeah.
There's a difference there, a huge difference.
No, I agree.
We should be respectful of that person, that human.
Yeah.
We don't need autopsy videos. We don't need those.
No, I think they're okay, though, too, because there's a lot of people out there that consume true crime and really like to get down into the nitty-gritty, similar to, like, an investigator. They're literally at-home investigators, and I understand that, too. However, in that situation, when you have a person that's under the age of 18, there's some additional approvals that need to be done in that situation. If she really wanted to post it and had good intentions there, I think, should have reached out to the family and said, you know, hey, I would really like to post this. I'm doing a story on him to make sure that this happens to fewer kids out there and it brings awareness to it. And this really highlights the areas of, you know, Gannon being abused over a long term, whatever. You know what I mean? You can give the honest truth of why you want to post this video behind a paywall or whatever. I don't see there anything being wrong with people getting paid for their work. But none of that happened. She ended up pulling the video down, taking a whole bunch of heat, apologizing to the family. And me personally, I don't see a correlation to what Annie did.
No, I don't either. And how did she even acquire the autopsy video? Usually
don't know.
minors' information is heavily protected.
How do any of the online sleuths get new footage and things like that? Look at the Koberger stuff. Every other day, some kind of new camera angles coming out that's getting released by content creators.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's important. I think the fact that she was really quick to jump and put this up there without thinking of consequences, what is actually going to come of this, and how it was being done is the real problem there. Yeah. Now, I do got to say, anybody that makes a mistake and comes out and apologizes and tries to make it right, like, my hat's off to you. We all make mistakes. I get it, okay? I'm not going to condemn someone for the rest of their life because they made a stupid mistake. I mean, everyone in the world would be done for if we handled things that way.
I absolutely agree. I think people are way too harsh online.
Yeah. So if you're going to be harsh and you're going to be a troll, at least be funny.
Yeah. That's the motto.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, let us know what you think. Do you think those two things are, like, at all similar? Is it okay to post an autopsy behind a paywall, especially of a child? I don't know how I feel about that. My instinct is that I feel it's wrong. But.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But more importantly, the whole point is to know what you guys think. Now, I did want to check real quick. I should have checked this before I pulled this up. But what is the difference? Okay. Yeah. So I personally think, because I've always told our viewers, I'm going to be 100% honest always, okay? The difference in followers and subscribers between ZAV Girl and Annie is massive, dude. Annie has tenfold or more what ZAV Girl does, so I think any larger content creator is going to get more of a pass anyways. However, even taking that into account, I feel like the intention matters, and I do feel like she had a good intention there. You're talking about a mom who very clearly posts pictures about her family and kids and takes pride in all that good stuff. And I just don't see a monetary focus there, you know?
I agree. I think she just couldn't post it to YouTube because it was a bit too graphic, and YouTube is strict.
And she does have a team working behind her, and everyone that's on her team needs to be paid, so there's also nothing wrong with the monetary gain, but this wasn't like an extra monetary gain on top of it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, absolutely.
So,